Fully functioning female robot. In a remote village in Japan sits a conglomerate of warehouses. Security is tight, and none of the local population has ever been able to venture inside the grounds of the place. What's more is, most of the local population has an average age of 55 years old, so the benefit to security is doubled, since this very old population has no interest of snooping around like children or young adults do. Also, the local old population is mostly women. Women tend to not be adventurous, and old women even more so. If you were adventurous, or even just curiously walked by, you'd see men speeding around in solar-powered golf carts. In fact, there seems to be a bunch of solar-powered covered buildings on the grounds, and even you might catch a glimpse of a solar-powered petal flower opening up. If you had to guess, two things should immediately come to mind. One, this place is future thinking. Two, this place wants to be off the grid. It's the second thing that is really the real answer. This company doesn't want anyone snooping around, and even being off the grid removes the layer of information that a casual local official could get just by looking up the local energy records. How much energy they use, how often, when do they use it. But the place is pretty quiet. It seems the employees live on the site. Inside the warehouses, however, isn't so quiet and peaceful. There's lots of activity. In one giant warehouse, it looks like something out of a horror movie. Bodies hang everywhere. But these aren't corpses or anything of that sort. They're the parts of androids, or humanoids, if you call them that. This is a robot manufacturer, but not just any robot manufacturer. This is a fully functioning female wife robot manufacturer, and this is Japan, the country that is ahead by 10 years of China. China, who wants to be the #1 manufacturer of robots in the world, and who are decades ahead of the United States. For most people, they won't believe this type of place even exists, or worse, they believe that the state-of-the-art or most technologically advanced robots are made in universities. Nothing could be further from the truth. Why? Because these robots are capable of doing what other robots are not. What is that? They are capable of performing wifely duties. Not only are they capable of that, but they are even capable of carrying a child to term. Make no mistake, a full laboratory is required for the gestation period, but it is not only possible, but proven. Also, the technology for a man to do this with just his own DNA and RNA has also been completely realized and proven, with actual humans nearing adulthood who this was performed on. It is because of that last paragraph that the mainstream media of both Japan and the West will never report these accomplishments. The West wants to appear to be the most advanced technologically, and no one wants to talk about adult entertainment or needs publicly. Actually, we owe a lot of technological advances, especially in technology, to the adult industry. All the way from your cell phone to the internet. Cue all the people talking about the university to the university internet. Meanwhile, testosterone levels have dropped by 60%. Men have lost actual human strength, and we're headed for a collision course of negative population growth in the West. With doomsday beliefs, actual beliefs that the planet, which is 99% empty of humans, is somehow overpopulated. Also, any mention of a recovery of men's testosterone, health issues, companionship needs is met with anger, hate, mockery by women and self-hating men. Just a basket of deplorables, as as the term is called. It is no wonder that this company is surrounded by high walls, high tech, and fences, and no one can come in, nor can you find them on the internet. At a starting price of $345,000 USD and a medium cost of $1 million USD, the client list is by invite only, and there is no layaway plan. But this is a new video, so what is new? Aha! Glad you asked. Let's talk about walking. There has been a dearth of activity in discovering walking, animating walking, learning how humans walk, perfecting how robots walk like humans to emulate the technology of walking like a human. You have companies like Boston Dynamics that you can see in the early 90s discovering walking and going full hog on making absolutely sure that their robots could actually walk. It is the pinnacle of a robot for a robot to actually be able to walk. We have so many other manufacturers around the globe and companies and private companies getting into the robot arena, and the first thing that they do is make sure that they actually have a robot that actually walks. And
The following is a message from the Washington State Department of Health in conjunction with the Centers for Disease Control and the Washington State National Guard. Due to recent developments with the virus spreading in Seattle, the governor of Washington has decided to instate a military blockade around King County. As of now, nobody will be able to enter or leave King County without proper authorization to stop the virus from spreading outside of the county. Anyone who attempts to breach the blockade may be met with lethal force. Life within the county will retain some degree of normality. However, there are limitations being enforced. Residents will be able to go outside, and essential stores such as grocery stores or pharmacies will remain open. However, public gathering spaces such as parks or malls will be closed off to the public until further notice. This curfew is in effect indefinitely and will be lifted once it has been determined that the virus is no longer a threat to the general population. Stay tuned for further updates.
Hearing colour. Colourblind Neil Harbison's life was changed after an amazingly high-tech antenna was attached permanently to his head. Born only able to see black and white, he can now see colours beyond human perception.
The following message has been transmitted at the request of the Florida Department of Health. Starting today at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a currently unknown contagion has been discovered to be spreading throughout the city of Orlando and most major suburban areas of Orlando. This infection is believed to be a bloodborne infection that travels through the exchange of bodily fluids. It is also believed that the spread of this contagion is connected to the quarantine earlier this morning of the Orlando International Airport, happening today at approximately 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because of this, the Florida Department of Health advises any and everyone to avoid any kind of explicit action that involves the exchange of bodily fluids. If you believe you are infected with this contagion, these are the symptoms you need to look out for. These symptoms include a high fever, loss of muscle control, and foaming in the mouth. This was first believed to be a new strain of the rabies virus, but health officials have concluded by the symptoms that this is in no way connected to the rabies virus. But even if that is so, we still advise everyone to take the actions that have just been laid out in avoiding any kind of bodily fluid contact. Entertainment and retail services will not be available today in the case that this virus might be airborne. If you go out at all, be sure to wear a face mask if you have one. As to control the spread of this contagion, also be sure to stay inside for the time being until health and other officials can control the spread of this contagion, and make sure that it is in no way fatal. If you happen to be showing any of the symptoms of this contagion, contact 911 immediately, and emergency officials will show up to your residence and take you to a secure area where you can be properly quarantined and cured of this contagion. Once again, an unknown contaminant is spreading throughout major suburban areas in Orlando, and it is advised that you stay inside and avoid any kind of contact with foreign bodily fluids. If you are not taking these precautions, you are putting yourself at risk of infecting not only yourself, but others as well, therefore making the spread of this contagion harder to control. So be sure to take these precautions to protect not only yourself, but others as well.
We're told that most of the injuries are bites, not gunshot or stab wounds.
Request of the Atlanta city government. Riots of rabid civilians are continuing to cause major damage to the main Fulton County area. Most civil services buildings have been put under quarantine, as it is believed that carriers of the outbreak reside inside such establishments. Experts are also reporting that this virus being seen all across the United States East Coast shares a lot in common with the outbreak of what is unofficially been dubbed the rage virus in the UK, and it is now believed that an outbreak of the rage virus has hit the United States. This virus is extremely dangerous, and individuals infected with this disease show symptoms that are very similar to the rabies virus. These symptoms include, but are not limited to, high fever, loss of muscle control, subconjunctival hemorrhage, and extreme aggression. As this virus is starting to spread out of control, the entire eastern side of the United States has been ordered to be put on lockdown by the U.S. government. Georgia is also advised to lock down in order to contain the spread of this pathogen. Because of this, citizens are advised to lock themselves inside their house, turn off as many lights as possible, and to not make much noise, as anyone infected can become a dire threat to you and or your loved ones, as these things have been particularly known to attract them and somewhat agitate them. If you suspect yourself or other loved ones to be carriers of the virus, once again, these are the symptoms that you need to look out for. These symptoms include, but are not limited to, high fever, loss of muscle control, subconjunctival hemorrhage, and extreme aggression. If anyone, including yourself, are showing any of these symptoms, quarantine them immediately in an isolated room. Lock all of the doors and windows, and immediately call 911, not only to keep you and others safe, but also for military and medical personnel to make it to your residence or current location in order to extract the infected individual into a supervised quarantine location in order to keep you or other infected out of the area and create a cure. As it stands right now, no known cure has been developed for the virus, and individuals infected with this virus will most likely die within due time. We can reassure you that experts are working hard in order to create a cure at the current time. But as of now, hordes of these infected riots have been making their way out of Atlanta and into the surrounding areas. So civilians in the following counties listed above are required to shelter in place and take the precautions that were laid out just now. Anyone on the road is advised not to leave their vehicle, but to not only keep all of your doors locked, but to make it to one of 3 refuge camps that have been set up by military officials within Atlanta. These are the locations for the refuge camps: the Ansley Mall in Piedmont Heights, Atlantic Station in downtown Atlanta, and the Palm City Market in downtown Atlanta. If you are sheltering in place, do not by any means try to make your way to these locations, as they are reserved for people who cannot make it to their residence at the current moment. If you are stuck in traffic, do as we instructed, and lock all of your doors, and roll up your car windows, and make your way to one of 3 of the locations laid out for you. Do not journey outside of your residence to try and look for loved ones. If you do so, you will not only be risking yourself to possible infections, but you will be subject to incarceration by the police or military officials. Do as we instructed, and we can guarantee that this will all be resolved shortly within the coming days.
The size of the wound and its proximity to a major blood vessel. Stars don't move like that.